Hey guys, welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys checking out today's video. And got a little bit of a heavy video today, guys, but it's one worth doing, and it's one that needs to be brought to your attention. And I want to go over, and I've talked about this a little bit before as it relates to fishing, but I want to expand on it even outside of fishing today, about how technology is going to destroy everything. It's going to devastate everything that we hold dear. It's going to devastate our planet, the human species. I want to get into that in today's video, and I want to explain in a very calm, rational way what I'm talking about, because it needs to get talked about. This is something that a lot of people are aware about. A lot of people that know what's going on are aware about it. A lot of scientific experts, a lot of experts in the field. So I want to give you guys sort of my opinion on it from somebody that I'm not an expert in this by any means, but I am aware of it, and I just sort of want to come through it from that standpoint, and definitely curious to get your guys' feedback on this as well. And I definitely want to hear some comments on this one. Guys, also, before we get started, thank you very much everybody that's taken time to support Intuitive Angling here by hitting that subscribe button and supporting the channel through all the different ways we have in the video descriptions. Really appreciate that, guys. Every video I want to tell you guys that, because I really do appreciate it, and me and my family really thank everybody that's got the back here of the Intuitive Angling family. Appreciate that. Okay, I had one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, or pretty much the main reason I wanted to do it, was yesterday I had a long talk with a good friend of mine that is probably one of the smartest dudes I have ever met in my life, and he's an extremely successful business person. He's like, this guy is like, he's been uber successful in the business world, graduated like at the top of his class in his university, just very aware, and it's one of those guys, he just got his pulse on everything. He's like, you see people once in a while that are just exemplary individuals all the way around: honesty, integrity, ethics, intelligence, just critical thinking skills. It's just a joy to be able to talk to him. And we had this conversation yesterday, and technology came up on it. And he was expressing his concern the same way I'm getting ready to tell you right here, almost in the verbatim what I'm going to tell you. And I found this extremely disturbing and extremely enlightening at the same time, that somebody like this, my friend, that is not, this dude is like as level-headed as anybody that you'll ever meet. I mean, he's like, how like some of the top military commanders, like the 4-star generals that have spent a lifetime in service, and they're calm, cool, collected, and they don't, everything is rational and thought out, sort of like that type of mentality, somebody that you'd really respect their viewpoint. And he was basically saying the same thing that I'm getting ready to tell you about, what technology is fixing to do to the human race and the planet here. Okay, let's start a little bit from the beginning and we'll get this. I think it's important to remember what has happened in our past as far as the acceleration that we have got to this point. Now, if you look, let's just take America here, for example. There has been, humans on what is now America for approximately, they think, about 30,000 years. There's give or take, some thousands of years, but there was, the whole crossing the Bering Land Bridge when it was frozen, from Europe over here. And so we've basically been colonized, we have begun to colonize what is now North America about 30,000 years ago. And from 30,000 years ago up until only about probably 200 to 300 years ago, the face of America, as far as what it looked like environmentally, and the actual sustainability of our country here, was untouched for 30,000 years, guys. In other words, if you were here 1,000 years ago, it looked basically like it did 30,000 years ago. And as we began to populate, and the Europeans came and invaded and committed all the genocide against the Native Americans like they did, over the past 150 years or so, specifically the past 150, 200 years, we have seen a metamorphosis in America that has only taken basically 100 years, really since the industrial age, basically 100 years, we have changed the landscape of the America to something that's not even recognizable. I mean, can you imagine somebody living here 1,000 years ago, if they drive across the country, or if they'd walk across the country right now, what they'd see? So this technological advancement that we've had just over a microsecond in the bigger picture it's been incredible, to say the least. So this acceleration in technology is it's rapidly expanding, and it has rapidly expanded just over the past 5 or 10 years in a fashion that is just unbelievable to comprehend the acceleration in this technology. And as a result, it's like the technology is outpacing our ability to interact with it and to understand it, and to understand the long-term ramifications of it and the dangers of it that it poses, not only to the sustainability of our planet, but our very survival as a human species. Now, you guys are very aware of my stance on technology and fishing. I think it's complete crap. I think it's bullshit. I don't think there's any place for it. I think there's been a minority of the powers that be within the fishing industry that have been extremely short-sighted and irresponsible and greedy, and have forced this technology on the sport. And so we don't need to go into that, but I want to get into the bigger picture here about the true dangers that this technology has. Now, there's 3 or 4 big areas with this, from what I see and from what a lot of the experts see, that need to be addressed. When you start getting into this technological advancement, what we are right now with this incredible acceleration in artificial intelligence that we're seeing, that's impacting every single part of our life, we've already seen you don't have to look very far to see what the potential of this is to really harm ourselves in the wrong hands. There's a lot of different aspects. The first thing that you have is you've got to look at the potential environmental collapse of this. All of these systems that we're talking about, all these technological systems, they harm the environment. There is an environmental impact with every single system out there when you talk about technology. And this technology and the environmental impact that it has, it interrupts cycles. There's cycles that are interrupted from a very small level, whether it be like, zooplankton or phytoplankton or different type of, microscopic organisms, up to the next level and the next level. All of these are impacted, and eventually that gets further and further and further up the food chain to the point where it reaches humans as the top apex predator. So there's not a single piece of technology that does not have some type of an environmental impact. And we're seeing that all the time, guys. We're seeing all of the different type of pollution that we have out there, the different type of, particulate, CO2 emissions. We currently have a power structure that is in charge right now that is dismantling and undermining all of our environmental safeguards that we have in place. They're denying science, the scientific reality. So that type of environmental collapse, combined with the technology that is actually responsible for it, is really accelerating at a rapid rate, regardless if somebody wants to deny it or not. I mean, there's a vested interest in this country that has a vested interest in not talking about that and trying to muddy the waters and trying to spread misinformation, which they have done extremely effectively. And it's all for profit. It's all to making more money. So another thing you're going to look at is these runaway systems that humans can't control, combined with this advent of AI and the loss of human control. And it doesn't take very much of an imagination to understand the potential ramifications of this. When you start having systems and AI systems that begin to control everything, including the internet, our satellites, all of our telecommunications, everything that we use to communicate within the world today on a global level, what if there's some glitches in that? I mean, what if there's a glitch in this technology or the AI that causes some type of a nuclear launch, or there's some type of an engineered pandemic that comes out of it that is runaway? I mean, you could have satellite warfare, satellite warfare, space warfare. There's a lot of different things that can come with these automated systems from technology where man does not have that much of an impact on it. And all it takes is one time with it. And this is something that a lot of us don't even understand. That's one of the things that I was talking about with my friend today, who is really somebody at like a genius level, is that he fully doesn't even understand it. He doesn't even fully understand all the ramifications and the potential how AI works. None of us really do. One thing that I do know is that the two people that are considered sort of the leaders of the entire AI world, both of the dudes that invented AI said that it's not going to be very long. They're going to take everybody's job. You know, AI technology, robotics, all that type of stuff is going to replace human labor. We've seen it already. It's like I've had a lot of messages from guys out there that have said they've lost their jobs from different type of AI influence. That's the thing that the creators have said. And then you have Elon Musk, who I am no fan of Elon Musk, but he is, you know, neck deep into AI. He said it poses the greatest threat to the survival of the human species that we've ever had. So here's one of the things I don't understand. When you have the people that are completely involved with this AI technology and they're sounding these warnings, why don't we have any type of a guideline? It is the Wild West right now with technology, guys. There's no safeguards, or there's no type of oversight with AI technology on this planet right now. It's just more the better. I mean, right now, there's about 7 tech companies that are propping up the United States economy. If it wasn't for those 7 tech companies, we'd probably be in a depression right now. That's one of the things my buddy was talking about, who's a freaking financial genius expert. So there's a lot of issues that go with that. But I think a lot of people, from what I have seen in my own personal experience with humans, a lot of people are apathetic, number one. You've got over half of the people that are just so busy with their own lives and raising families, and they don't watch the news, they don't follow stuff, and they're sort of like tuned out. It's just like, you know, 50, 60, 70% of the people in this country don't even vote. They're apathetic. They're sort of checked out of everything else. And then you got the other 30 or 40% that buy into a lot of misinformation and disinformation and conspiracy theories, and they're getting their news from, you know, alternative factual stuff. And then you've got about, you know, 20-25% of the people that are really science and data driven, factual. You know, they're critical thinkers, they're realists, they understand long-term ramifications, they listen to science, they listen to experts, they surround themselves with experts, and they're the ones that are sounding the warning right now. And I don't know if this can even be stopped, because when you have something like AI and technology that is making billionaires out of people, it's like they don't have any type of a vested interest to stop. Even on a more microcosm level, let's get back to technology in the fishing industry. When you've got electronic companies that are making buku bucks and millions and tens of millions of dollars from forward-facing sonar and all the advancing technology with the fishing, do you think they're going to stop because they want to do the right thing? They're not going to, because money corrupts everything. Money corrupts everything, guys, and money and ignorance and greed and the denial of science is going to destroy our planet. It's going to destroy the human civilization as we know it, because we do not have people in positions of power that set safeguards on that. Like I said, it's the Wild West right now. You know, somebody prove me wrong. You know, who is setting any type of a safeguard or a guardrail on this exploding technology that we have, not only in fishing but in just life in general. But I'm freaking worried about this. I'll tell you guys right off the bat. It's like we have reached a place in our evolution as humans that we cannot live in a bubble. We can't just like do our own thing and forget this stuff doesn't even exist and expect it just to go away. You know, everybody has got to get more involved with the process. You got to start activating whatever power levers that we have. And right now in the country, the only thing that influences any type of policy change or any type of change for the better is political legislation. That's the only thing that does it. So you really have to be up, and you have to be aware, and you have to be very, very concerned about the positions that people that you put in positions of power. And, you know, if you don't put people in positions of power that don't have ethics and integrity and critical thinking skills and compassion and, you know, courage and all that type of stuff, all the great qualities of a exemplary human being, it's not going to get any better. I mean, if we have people in positions of power, whether it be in the business community or the political realm or whatever, that are self-serving and greedy and narcissistic and do not, you know, make decisions from a science data, you know, point of view, and do not surround themselves with experts in the field and let the experts, you know, be the advisory board, guys, we're not going to make it. I'm just telling you right now, we are not going to make it. So I don't know. I just wanted to do this video as sort of just a wake-up call a little bit. I mean, that talk that I had with my buddy yesterday really woke me up, because there's a difference between, you know, listening to somebody that is sort of like just some type of a novice and just a casual observer of whatever situation's going on, and there's a difference between listening to somebody that's literally an expert in it and understands all of the geopolitical ramifications of problems that we have here, and understands, you know, the long-term ramifications of decisions. And when I heard that friend of mine express the concern, and then I continue to hear the expression of concern from other people that know about this type of stuff, it really has been a wake-up call to me. So in our own little world here, guys, the best thing that you can do is freaking resist technology and phishing. We may not be able to do anything with all the other stuff that's going on in the world, but one thing that you can do is undermine technology and phishing. And that's what I want to encourage every angler that's watching this channel. Do everything that you can to undermine technological influence, electronical technological influence in the sport. Try to undermine it, try to discredit it, try to, you know, talk to people about how bad it is, which it is. Don't use it. And if we can get it out of our sport and get to the sport that we all used to love and know that is sustainable over the long term, at least we've made some impact. But anyway, guys, just sort of a different video here. Shoot me some comments. Let me know what you guys think. We'll talk later.